disappearing in the midst of the crowd. Salaki, I'm back now. So as you can see, this word moose that we just got into, it means it goes into to flee, to escape, to take flight, to disappear. Because like when you we were literally, we're literally gonna fly. It was about our last words. That's something, that's a form of spiritual power as well. And that's actually kind of, it's actually kind of mad when you actually think about it. It's like, yo, these guys from Marvel, and all these, comic book guys, they get their inspiration from the scriptures, man. But obviously, the average person wouldn't know that because they don't really understand. They don't really get into the scriptures like that, man. I like even the precept in Zechariah because this even highlights how much power the Lord is gonna give, you know, this chosen elect. Because I don't know, because the Lord, will may have some of the elect die as martyrs, as a testimony of their faith. He may have angels protect someone. He may give some spiritual power. You know, I'm just trying to differentiate. I just be clear with what I'm saying. But those the Lord will give spiritual power, He's gonna give them to magnify His name, to magnify His power, just like He did in ancient Egypt when the Lord delivered us from the hands of Pharaoh. The Lord is gonna do the same thing, but much greater because, like I said, technology is far advanced from what it used to be. They have different weapons of warfare. They have machine guns, they have nuclear capability. They just have all types of different things. Where Law's gonna be like, hey, I'm still gonna outshine you, cause you imagine what they were going through back in ancient Egypt, man. When the Law brought the darkness, and then you can just hear, you may hear a little cackle in the dark, or you may, see so you may see something strange, cause when like people usually see something strange in the dark, they usually turn the lights on. But listen, Egypt was covered in darkness. What light they're gonna turn on? So whatever was quote unquote scary in the dark that they're trying to hide from, they can't get away from because if they turn on they can't really turn on the light. And even if they flash the candle light, it probably won't if they can't even find the candle, to be fair. And even if they find the candle, how much light is it gonna give? Zechariah, I thought I had it loaded up somewhere, but anyway, Zechariah 3, I just like it 12. Here is, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day shall be as David. And Jerusalem, synonymous with Israel, is a people before it's a place. And we know that Israel refers to the 12 tribes of Israel, both northern and southern kingdom. Because and the speckled bird, of course, including speckled birds into that as well. We are the children of Israel, man. The Lord said He's going to defend them in, defend us in that day. And he that is feeble, another word for feeble is weak, among them in that day shall be as David. And we know David was a real mighty man. David was doing some next level stuff, so to speak, man. Some real next level stuff. And he that is feeble and he that is weak among them in that day shall be as David. Because you remember, David killed his tens of thousands. David was scaling high walls. And when you look at it back in the ancient world, I actually have a book. I have a World Digest Atlas, and I can actually see loads of things like in different time periods, like those big high walls. If I'm not mistaken, they were to watch for invaders, and when those invaders would come, you would have a watchmen, just like sound the alarm basically and warn the people that were inside the city, so that they could form a defense. And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And just like you have in Wisdom of Solomon, it says in fact, let me get it. I believe I had it loaded up just before actually. Oh yeah, here it is. Wisdom of Solomon 3:7. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine. So they're gonna shine. What is what do you do? Like shine, like glow, or give off a light. I shall run to and fro like sparks, and sparks are like, for example, for those of you who may have a gas cooker, sparks are like those things that go, just before you ignite the gas. Or for the brothers who may know what sparkles are, they're those things that you light. The spark isn't the spark is literally the flame when it lights on the sparkler. So you give off a light like that. And for the brothers of you who may not know, let me load it up. This is a spark. What does this look like? They literally get this Marvel stuff from the scripture, man. Because that we're gonna be running fast. Because just look at this. We're gonna be glowing with this because the Lord said what? The things I did ye shall do greater. And we know all the things the Lord did could not be contained in all the books. So hold on a minute. The Lord did incredible miracles that weren't even recorded. Of course we know the ones he did, but he did so many things that we don't know because they weren't recorded. And he said, these things ye shall do greater, man. So it's actually exciting when you actually try to sit down and visualize it, man. That's where I'm up to. Like sparks among the stubble. And I tried to find this one time, but it was no joy. But if I'm not mistaken, stubble is like a little debris from of buildings, I think. So you gotta be moving fast if you're moving between those, because last time I seen debris is not really much space. So you already know that this is highlighting speed, super speed, so to speak, because it says you shall run to and fro like sparks. And if you're not running slow, then you must be running fast, right? But anyway, let's continue. I'm gonna get probably two more and close it out. I, I almost forgot to bring up the main point, because the Lord said what concerning spiritual power. He said he will give power unto his two witnesses. And what does the two witnesses represent? It represents two halves of the branch, or two halves of the stick, so to speak. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom. So he's gonna give power onto the ones onto the men he's chosen. But anyway, Revelation 11:3, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, so for a time period, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees. And when you even look at sackcloth, who's where, you already know. You can already tell who this is talking about, because you know even the garments, brothers wear, they kind of look a little bit like sackcloth, man. And these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. And if any man, and like I said, Salakia, and like I said too, that the two halves are branch of the stick, so to speak. This is now saying two candlesticks again, northern and southern kingdom. And if any man shall hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. So hold on. So they're like, oh, you guys are crazy for saying it. Oh, where does it say that? Listen, we get it right here in Revelation 11:5. Fire proceedeth out of their mouth. So this is literally, you imagine a dragon breathing fire. So, fire's gonna be, we're gonna breathe fire, so to speak. So you telling me that the spiritual power isn't a high level, man? And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in their days of their prophecy, and have powers to waters to turn him to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues, and as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast shall that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, and the bottomless pit, is talking about Europe, shall make war with them and overcome them and kill them. Of course, this is referring to when we got take, because we were once, in the dark ages, of course, we were once on top because due to our wickedness and, prophecy's sake, we had to fall. But, do you have anything else before I close it out? Because I was gonna get some other stuff. Oh, this is a nice one to close out with, because all those people have, right now they're pointing, they're mocking, they're laughing because right now they can, but pretty soon they're not gonna be able to because they're gonna see the whole world crumbling around them. So they're gonna be like, "Oh, yo, yeah, could you please tell me what you're gonna what you're saying?" Because they're like, they expect us to be patient and wait for them when they decide. This is why I got frustrated, with I was a bit frustrated in my head with with this Jake woman on the bus, and she was basically referring to the Lord has to wait for her until she makes her decision. I'm like, how dare you say the Lord has to wait for you, man? The Lord don't owe you nothing, man. Because she didn't. She kind of said it without saying it by uttering the word, I'll do this and this when I'm older. But I'm like, yo, you know, you can't, you can't expect a lot. You can't expect the Lord has to wait for you, man. Of course, if you're a member of the elect, you'll turn around anyway. But you can't be in that entitled spirit, man. Psalms 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Why are they going to be willing? Because they're going to see these things that we're talking about come to pass, and they're going to see these men with spiritual power. In the beauties of holiness from the womb of thy morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. So spiritual power is coming, Akim. Stay prayed up and stay ready. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua Bashim, Rekha Kadash. Until next time, Shalom.